the wholesale market in Hamburg at 4 in the morning. This is where exotic fruits from around the world make their way into Germany. Bananas, oranges, melons, and mangoes are all popular, and pineapples particularly so. Germany is by far the biggest consumer in the EU. The country imports more than 150,000 tons of this sweet fruit every year, mostly from Costa Rica. Prices have been low for years. Regardless of the brand, consumers only pay between 1 and 3 euros, often less than the cost of a kilogram of apples from Germany. The supermarket's power has grave consequences for the producers in their home countries. That's the message Jorge Mora, president of the Costa Rican environmental organization ARCA, wants to convey. He wants to convince as many consumers as possible with the help of German partner organizations.
The pineapple in Costa Rica has been produced with many problems. They are using a lot of pesticides that are contaminated the water supply systems of many communities. They are cutting many natural forests to plant pineapple. And also they have very, very bad conditions to the workers in the plantations. So it's important that the German public knows what is happening in reality in Costa Rica.
And that's why they'll be meeting Jorge Mora later in his home country. Are consumers also to blame for the questionable conditions involved in growing pineapples? What responsibility do supermarkets and discount chains have? Most of them advertise their fruits with certificates stating their products are sustainable. But there's no denying the fact that it's the supermarkets and discount chains that profit most from pineapples. Then come the producers, often the major international fruit companies such as Dole and Chiquita, who pocket a quarter of the proceeds. The workers on the farms get less than 10%.
This used to be a lagoon, a wetland that attracted birds. Herons would come, roughly at this time of day. Now the water's polluted. The chemicals come from those ditches. The birds don't come anymore because there's no food for them.
Lagoons and wetlands enjoy strict protection in Costa Rica, but pesticide contamination in the water is a big problem. It's a small country, but it uses the most pesticides in the world, 18.2 kilograms per hectare, and has the longest list of approved agrochemicals. That doesn't just have consequences for the environment, but for the people too. In Milano, agrochemicals are part of the people's daily lives. The groundwater's polluted with bromacil here, a herbicide that's now banned and believed to be carcinogenic and harmful to the digestive system. Drinking water is only available twice a week. It's supplied by the state via tank trucks. The pesticides have made Milano's groundwater unusable for decades to come. The cause? Intensive pineapple farming in the surrounding area.
There are other communities too where water sources had to be given up because they were contaminated. I'm concerned more communities will find their water polluted too because pineapple farming has expanded so much. Its use of agrochemicals is very high.
However, there's not much to suggest that the plantations will change their production methods. Large quantities of pineapples for little money. That's also a consequence of the pressure supermarkets are putting on the producers. There are new initiatives to make production more sustainable, but politicians can't agree how much pineapple cultivation should be regulated. We meet Jorge Mora once more near Milano. He wanted to inform supermarket customers in Germany about the effects of cheap pineapples on his home country.
There's too little drinking water quite generally because of the contamination. That leads to problems such as diarrhea and other problems connected with too little water. Worse still, the cancer rate has been going up significantly in some areas.
We head to the north of the country. The largest pineapple plantations are found close to the border with Nicaragua. Many of the people here work on the plantations. Most of them are illegal itinerant workers brought across the border from Nicaragua by a subcontractor and passed on to the companies as cheap labor. They're often paid significantly less than the national minimum wage. We meet one worker who's willing to talk to us, but he doesn't want to be recognized.
I'm from Nicaragua. I've worked here illegally for a subcontractor for 4 years. I've never had a written contract. Itinerant workers get less money. You normally get bonuses if you work with toxic chemicals, but we never got these bonuses.
Manuel Mittelhammer has lived in Costa Rica for 13 years. A forester from Bavaria, he's a licensed assessor. That means he checks farms and verifies their sustainable organic cultivation on behalf of various organizations. His specialty is permaculture. Everything is grown in the forest and therefore mostly in its original environment, including pineapples. His place of work is often deep in the rainforest.
This plantation is to be certified so it can sell to Europe and America. I'm going to take a look at the whole thing. There are a lot of other plants growing here. The ground is green and the species diversity is high. There are a lot of insects and different products ranging from cocoa to bananas and papayas. I'm going to inspect all of this visually. I can tell right away that chemicals haven't been used here for years, and that's a good indicator.
Supermarkets can put pressure on the producers to maintain social and environmental standards. But to achieve that, it would be necessary to pay fair prices and to inspect the standards on the farms.